Good morning, Watermark Church. Let me ask you, have you ever messed up, especially with God? Have you ever done something that almost made you ashamed to call yourself a Christian? I have lots of experience in that. I can remember times when I was with people who asked me if I was a Christian and somehow I acted like I wasn't. There have been other times when I ignored people when I knew God was calling me to reach out. Man, after those times, you just feel so ashamed. You don't want to pick up your Bible or pray, and going to church hits right in the heart. This is exactly where we find Peter in this chapter. I love John 21 because, in a way, it's every Christian story. Peter is an utter failure. He has denied the Lord 3 times in Jesus' greatest hour of need. At the trial before his crucifixion, in fact, one servant girl asked Peter if he knew Jesus, and Peter's reply was something like, "No way, I don't know that man." Right after cursing Jesus, Peter looked up and saw Jesus staring right at him. He was crushed, devastated, destroyed. Now before we get to the tough on Peter, let's be honest. Given the right circumstances, you and I would have done the same thing. Then the resurrection happened. At first, Peter has incredible joy, but in reality, when reality is, how could Jesus forgive me? He must have been thinking, his response, I'm going fishing. Now, I'm going fishing isn't a big deal, but for Peter, what it represents is a big deal. Remember, Peter was a fisherman, and Jesus called Peter to follow him and become a fisherman. When Peter tells the others that he's going fishing, it's more than a trip on a bass boat. Peter's dejection has led him to go back to his old life, the old relationship, the old ways. So do you get the picture? This is as low as Peter can go, which is exactly why I love John 21. Jesus meets Peter in this spot, and in the process of forgiveness, which is beautiful. First, Jesus reminds Peter that the other disciples, and he's still in control. After fishing all night and catching nothing, Jesus tells them to cast the nets on the other side of the boat. The result was staggering, 153 fish in one cast. This demonstrated Jesus was still the one they had grown to trust. Second, Jesus was confirming his call to Peter and the other disciples. If you remember, it was exactly the same sort of fish catching event that led the disciples to follow Jesus in the first place. Jesus was reminding Peter that he was called to be fishers of men, not just fishermen. Then Jesus restored the relationship with Peter through forgiveness. Did you notice that Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times? At first you may think that Jesus is being cruel, but remember how many times Peter denied Jesus. Jesus is letting Peter know that his grace reaches down to our lowest moments and sets us free. Yup, all fail just like Peter, but the cross and the resurrection make all the difference. Forgiveness, renewal, restoration are always waiting at the feet of Jesus. So when you do mess up, run to him, not away. You'll find Jesus there waiting to bring you back, set you on your right feet, and get you living for him again. Remember, with Christ, every day is a new beginning. May God bless you. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow as we explore the question, do you love me? May you have a blessed day.